America at war. How wide will it spread? Despite absorbing a hit by Iraqi missiles, Israel holds its fire for now, as President Bush promises to go after Saddam Hussein's remaining mobile scuds.
Knowing what those things can do, it's good to take them out.
But as the Allies continue their massive and relentless bombing attacks on Iraq and Kuwait, their casualties climb a bit. 4 American planes now down, 7 American airmen missing.
We must be realistic. There will be losses. There will be obstacles along the way. And war is never cheap or easy.
From NBC News, America at War. Reporting from NBC News headquarters in New York, here is Tom Brokaw.
Good evening once again. The big news tonight in the Persian Gulf was something that didn't happen. Israel didn't fight. It has stayed out of the war so far. And America's alliance with a number of Arab countries so far has stayed intact. It was another day of extraordinarily heavy bombardment by American air forces over Iraq and Iraqi positions in Kuwait. In just 2 days, American pilots now have flown 2,100 raids. So far, 4 planes have been shot down. 7 American pilots are missing. This is a new glimpse at what Baghdad looked like today. These pictures were taken by the British Broadcasting Corporation and driven to Jordan and fed to us by satellite a short time ago tonight. If you listen closely, you may be able to hear explosions in the background. The American war effort is intensifying tonight. This evening, Defense Secretary Dick Cheney declared an airlift emergency and ordered 20 commercial airlines to provide the government with nearly 200 airplanes. The planes apparently will be used to ferry supplies to the war front. What is the latest on the air war? Well, let's go to Pentagon correspondent Fred Francis, and let me ask you, Fred, first of all.
Bombers stepped up the air assault on Iraq today, pounding targets throughout Saddam's military empire, some for the second and third time.
We assume that Mr. Hussein has some idea of the damage done to him. We don't know how much because we don't know what his communications capability is at this time.
Military commanders said 80% of the raids were successful. This one on Iraqi Air Force headquarters sent 2 2,000-pound bombs deep inside the building, devastating it. This is the reason the intensity of the air war increased. Mobile missiles used last night on Israel and Saudi Arabia. 10 mobile missile launchers were destroyed today, but 24 remain somewhere in the western Iraqi desert. And also hidden, according to Pentagon officials, many of Saddam's best combat aircraft. They fled to northern bases where they are protected by hardened shelters. Those Iraqi jets may be ordered into the fight soon, but U.S. officials say they will present no significant challenges to the Allied air forces in an air war expected to last at least another 10 days. But officials say victory will not be cheap. Those 7 U.S. pilots who were shot down went down in the first 45 hours of combat, and officials say there will be more losses. Fred Francis, NBC News, the Pentagon.
Of course, the pilots do know the danger when they take to the skies. However, after waiting in the desert for 5 uncomfortable months, many were more than ready when President Bush turned Operation Desert Shield into Operation Desert Storm. NBC's Arthur Kent is in Saudi Arabia tonight. He's been talking with some of the pilots. Arthur?
Tom, it's been the most intense bombing campaign since World War II. More than 2,000 aircraft, led by the U.S., hitting Iraq night and day.
Great.
They say it is nerve-wracking and exhilarating, but most of all, these pilots say it is satisfying to use the skills they've practiced for so long.
You plan for the worst and hope for the best.
We've done this, practice this strike 4 or 5 times, and every time you're like, well, what if we had to go north instead of turning around and coming south?
The aircraft fly in from the sea, lift off from desert airstrips, all thundering toward one destination, Saddam Hussein's Iraq.
The AAA fire was excessive. To say incredible would be an understatement.
I was pretty nervous, but just seeing Baghdad lit up like that was incredible.
But today, broken skies, lots of cloud in the region, less than perfect conditions for locating and destroying Saddam Hussein's mobile rocket launchers. Tom?
Thank you, Arthur Kennedy. It is worth pointing out that the pictures that have been provided us by the Defense Department are only the pictures that were successful. We do not know about any misses or what they call collateral damage, the possibility that some civilians were hit as well. That we simply do not know because we haven't gotten that information from the Defense Department. What are the special challenges facing American pilots in the Persian Gulf under these circumstances? Well, joining us now from KRON studios in San Francisco is George O'Brien, former commander of a squadron of A-6 attack planes, the retired commanding officer of the USS Carl Vinson, one of America's primary aircraft carriers. Captain O'Brien, can you keep the pilots really on edge if they have to fly time after time off the deck like that and go into combat?
Yes, you can, and they're trained to do that. The pace of our training operations, which is one of the fruits that we're reaping of the funding of military operations in the last 10 years, have given these guys a basis to do what they're doing now.
But everything in the past has been simulated combat. There is a big difference in adrenaline pump, I would think, when they start shooting back at you with real bullets, anti-aircraft or missiles.
There sure is. You make your training as realistic as you can make it. For flight ops off an aircraft carrier, particularly at night, you've got a pretty large fraction of it built in even to the peacetime operations. The quality of the training that we've given to our carrier air wings, to the tactical air in both the Navy and the Air Force over the last 10 years has been improved very much. I think these are the best trained, most ready air crews we've ever put into combat.
Captain, let's go into the cockpit for a moment, if we can, in a matter of speaking. These modern airplanes are loaded up with electronics. How much of the airplane is flown by the pilot and how much flown by computers and so on?
It gets down to a man who's operating the equipment, and that's always the key part of it. There's computers and other aids to assist you in doing something, but remember, you're operating an aircraft that's going faster, farther, and being asked to do far more than aircraft did before. So the pilot's still quite fully occupied.
I would guess that it tends to concentrate the mind.
It's living at 5 times normal speed, very much on the edge.
And there are real physical strains as well because you're taking a lot of G-forces. How in the world can they do that, especially with the light touch that may be required for some of the electronics?
Well, it's a demanding physical experience. It's always kind of an interesting reminder when you pick up your flight gear, when you stow it in a bag to take it off the ship, how heavy it is. They've got 60 or so pounds of gear on. They're wearing an oxygen mask, a G-suit, and hooked into this aircraft, very much a part of the machine, and experiencing all the aerodynamic loads that the aircraft does. It takes quite a lot of physical endurance, in addition to presence of mind and pretty fast reactions.
All right, they come back from a combat mission that may take them out in the skies for, what, 2 hours or so if they have a refueling of some kind. Then they've got to make a landing on a pitching flight deck. How much rest do they have to have before you let them go back up again?
Typically 2 or 3 missions like that in a day would be the upper limit.
Well, that's a lot, though, I would think. I mean, they must come back in pretty drained condition. What about special diet or physical training just to keep them at it?
These young men are in top physical condition. That's an area of increasing emphasis in the Navy and I'm sure the Air Force. They're eager, they're ready, they're very mindful of their own readiness. These guys are tough.
Captain, you've retired from the Navy now, but what about the maximum age limit that you would feel good about going out there into this kind of circumstances and still be certain that your eyes and all of your reflexes would be what you'd need them to be?
Well, the old men of the squadrons, the squadron commanding officers are typically in their late 30s. The air wing commanders are in their early 40s. That's rather advanced age in that profession.
All right, Captain George O'Brien, the former commanding officer of the USS Carl Vinson, one of our primary flat tops. Thanks very much for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Tom.
Giving us a little peek at what goes on to take the right stuff these days with these modern planes. When we come back, the tricky politics of the Middle East. Can the American-led coalition survive intact?
What traits do you look for in a financial firm? A herd mentality? Unsteadiness? Complacency? Or do you look for strength? Stability? Knowledge of the world? What traits
After test driving a Sterling, you find another car with all of its standard features and appointments for $28,500 or less. We'll do more than congratulate you. We'll buy it for you.
When you rinse first with Plax, normal everyday brushing takes on a whole new meaning. Plax, clinically shown to remove more plaque than brushing alone.
When your eyes feel extra dry and irritated, they need extra relief. Visine Extra gets the red out, plus an extra medication soothes, cools, and moisturizes dry, irritated eyes. Visine gets the red out and a whole lot more.
New Alpine Lace American Slices.
Tastes so good.
Low cholesterol and 50% less sodium.
Tastes so good.
2/3 less saturated fat.
Healthy and tasty American. Tastes so good. Alpine Lace.
No time for breakfast. Or is there? Weight Watchers introduces 14 breakfasts, like a tasty English muffin sandwich or a banana nut muffin. No time for breakfast? I've just run out of excuses.
Israel tonight is a country living on the edge of fear, a restless night of anticipation of sirens blaring, sirens signaling another Iraqi missile attack. For the second straight night there tonight, this is just as what has happened. However, there were no incoming missiles from Iraq, just a very unsettling false alarm. In fact, at one point, a re-entering Soviet space satellite touched off the alarm. What is the mood among Israelis on this, their Sabbath? Well, we'll go now to Tel Aviv, and on the telephone with us is the Deputy Foreign Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu. Mr. Netanyahu, I trust that you can hear me at this hour.
I hear you fine, Tom.
That's very good. Defense Minister Moshe Aarons today indicated that Israel, in fact, will retaliate for the Iraqi missile attack on Tel Aviv last night. Can you describe when that might come?
Well, you know our policy is to ensure, A, that Israel is safe, and B, that everybody knows that it has to be safe. For that purpose, we will take whatever action we think is necessary, but when, how, and against what targets is something that we're not going to disclose.
Has President Bush pleaded with you not to take any action whatsoever?
I don't think President Bush is in the business of pleading. He's spoken very forthrightly, I think very boldly, very courageously, as a leader does in times of distress yesterday. In fact, on your program, when I first heard what he said. But what we say to each other and the close consultations between these two allies, the United States and Israel, is something that we're not going to disclose either.
We understand the grave danger that Israel is in almost constantly there, and we understand the dilemma of all of this. But in effect, aren't you not playing into the hands of Saddam Hussein if you do retaliate and then jeopardize or at least put in peril the Arab coalition that has been standing so firm?
Well, I think that regardless of what and when we do anything, I think that all the members of the coalition understand that Israel has been aggressively provoked, in fact, without any reason, that this was a criminal terrorist attack, precisely as President Bush described it, and that Israel, of course, does not wish to be drawn into this. In fact, is doing everything it can and showing, I think, considerable restraint in doing everything it can not to get into this in any significant way. But I think equally, these countries have been there before. They've seen one or two Arab countries attack Israel. They've seen Israel respond. Sometimes they may have said statements against this, but sometimes secretly, and sometimes not so secretly, they applauded it. They all know what Saddam is trying to do. I don't think they're going to be fooled by it.
All right. Thank you very much, Benjamin Netanyahu, who is the Deputy Foreign Minister of the government of Israel. If Israel does get involved, what then for the Arab coalition? Well, joining me now in New York is Egypt's ambassador to the United Nations, Amr Moussas. Mr. Moussas, what about that? If Israel at some point does retaliate, can the Arab coalition hold?
Let me say in the beginning that today Israel, it was a false alarm, and yesterday the attack resulted in very insignificant results. Therefore, Israel is in a position to hold its fire, and we are all in a position to call on Israel not to retaliate.
This has been so well advertised, what Saddam Hussein is attempting to do. Does that not neutralize, in effect, his tactic or not?
In fact, since the beginning, since August 1990, Mr. Saddam Hussein was trying to establish a certain linkage between his occupation of Kuwait and the situation in the occupied territories. So anything that would suggest linkage is opposed by many of us, Egypt included, because of the situation in Kuwait, and that is the goal of all of us, to liberate Kuwait, to restore the sovereignty and the legitimate government of Kuwait. This is the goal that we have to work for.
But indisputably, if Israel does retaliate and get involved at whatever level, that's going to put enormous pressure on your government and your president, Hosni Mubarak, isn't it?
I should say that Israel is well advised not to interfere and to, in fact, should keep out of it. As for the solidity of our position, it will continue to be solid against the continuation of the Iraqi occupation of Kuwait. This is the goal, and we are solid behind it. We have to reach it.
Mr. Mrs., what is the Egyptian intelligence about how well the battle is going at this point? There has been not a whole lot of information available in this country, apart from the fact that the heavy bombardment is underway. And as I say, we have seen the pictures of the successes, but we don't know about the failures. And we do know that the Scud missile launchers still have not been taken out.
We hope that this battle will be as short as possible. Our goal, as I was saying, is to liberate Kuwait and not to destroy Iraq. But we want to liberate Kuwait, that is very clear, and this will be our goal all the way.
And what about what happens after this campaign is all over to the Arab world and the role of the United States? Will American forces have to stay there for a time to secure the area?
The security of the area will not be attained except if all the major problems are solved, including the Palestinian question. Well, after we succeed, I hope, and I'm sure that we are going to succeed in liberating Kuwait, we'll have to turn our attention to the remaining problems, in particular the Palestinian one. After solving the Palestinian problem, then security in the region will be assured.
If it comes to a ground war of some kind, is there any doubt about whether Egyptian forces will engage in combat on the ground in Kuwait and even in Iraq?
I do not suggest to enter into details about where and when and how the Egyptian forces would be involved. But the sure thing is that we are there to defend Saudi Arabia and to liberate Kuwait.
Mr. Ambassador.
To secure the liberation of Kuwait.
Mr. Ambassador, thank you very much for being with us tonight.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good to see you. In a moment, another reading of the national mood of America at war.
This is the sound of Unisom, the sound of sleep. With Unisom, you hit your pillow and fall asleep fast. Tonight, you can sleep more soundly with Unisom, America's #1 sleep aid.
Bengay welcomes back all the people who tried one of those other pain relievers, but found that for them, nothing works better than Bengay. It warms away pain with 2 pain relievers, not just 1. Welcome back to Bengay, America's best-selling pain relief rub.
Why do I enjoy healthier Alpine Lace, low cholesterol and low sodium Swiss low cheese? Because it tastes so good. And now it's even lower in fat.
The healthy and tasty Swiss low cheese tastes so good from Alpine Lace.
Move to the back of the bus, please. Come on.
Back here. Excuse me. Excuse me, that's my stop.
Aren't you glad you used Dial?
Hi.
Don't you wish everybody did?
I've got to get a car.
America's at war, and NBC presents an important hour-long special, What's Ahead?
Then, Women at War, Concern on the Home Front. How do Americans feel about women in harm's way on Real Life with Jane Pauley?
And could Iraq have bought arms from the U.S.? A shocking expose with Tom Brokaw. Stay tuned to NBC, Sunday.
The crisis turns to war, and America turns to NBC News. Wherever news breaks, whatever it takes.
An all-new Seinfeld is back, one part sitcom.
You told me you had a great time, said you'd call me the next day.
Well, I'm sure I meant to call.
One part stand-up.
What do you do at the end of a date when you know
You don't want to see this person ever again for the rest of your life. No matter what you say, it's a lie. I'll see you around. Take care now. Take off. Isn't that what you really want to say? Take off now.
Seinfeld on NBC Wednesday, 9:30, 8:30 Central.
A Friday night in America. TGIF, a time for fun and games. But what is the mood of America this Friday night? Well, to find out, NBC's Keith Morrison went to a high school in Los Angeles. There was a basketball game going on, but somehow tonight it wasn't what everyone had hoped it could be.
In the gathering dark at Reseda High School in suburban Los Angeles, big children, almost grown, came to a basketball game. Their lives going on in the traditional way, this the best part of the day. Exciting stuff. Nothing is different, really, except the innocence is gone.
I never wanted something like this to happen. I never thought anything like this would happen. I thought war was all just a past thing.
Last week, the game was everything. Now, as they play, they feel the world around them. It's done something permanent inside.
It's kind of hard to explain. It's like I get nervous and scared and upset and everything all at once.
They tell us they discuss it in school all the time. And just as well, they say, because they can't get it out of their minds.
I try to understand it, but sometimes I don't really understand why, you know?
And they argue against the war, for the war. Anybody who thought teenagers were self-centered should have been at Reseda High tonight to listen to young minds suddenly awake to hard truths.
It definitely gives you butterflies, and you see everything that's going on there, and you see like the bombs going off, and you could be there one day in the middle of it, and you definitely get scared.
We had left the game when a cheerleader caught up with us. We cheer for the troops now, she told us. We'd like them to know that. Keith Morrison, NBC News, Los Angeles.
And in the desert sands of Iraq and Kuwait, Operation Desert Storm continues, raining destruction down on military targets. It is a cloudy day there now, we're told, however. We'll have a complete report on all of this throughout the day on Saturday with NBC's Garrick Outley. We'll be interrupting the sports events as necessary to bring you the very latest from the Persian Gulf. And then back again on Sunday with continuing reports and a special report on Sunday night. For now, I'm Tom Brokaw on behalf of all of us at NBC News.
In the early morning hours, the attacks rage on in the Persian Gulf. Wake up to the latest on America at War, a special weekend edition of Today, Saturday morning.
I got burgers.
Nah, hot dogs?
Nah.
Looking for something different from a fast food restaurant? Welcome to the club. Hardee's introduces the Turkey Club. Fresh sliced turkey breast, crisp bacon, lettuce, and ripe tomato, all sandwiched between Hardee's own multi-grain bun. And it's easy to get into this club, because right now the dues are very low. Introducing the Turkey Club Sandwich, only at Hardee's.
Starving Artist Group Art Expo and Sale. Thousands of